Hello, St. David's. My name is Father Scott Brown. I served as assistant to the rector in your beautiful congregation from 2002 to 2004 under the direction of Gary Lillibridge prior to his election as our diocesan bishop. Serving at St. David's right out of seminary was one of the greatest gifts of my life, and I will forever be grateful for the foundation that you all helped lay in my life and in my heart. I've got a lot of great memories and stories from St. David's. I served with some wonderful people there. A couple of stories that come to mind are I remember one of my very first Sundays when I was serving communion, and the person in the transept needed to receive communion after I had finished giving everyone else communion. And rather than walk around the altar rail to give this person communion, I decided that the closest route was to just kind of hurdle the altar rail. So I hiked up my alb and literally kind of hurdled the altar rail to give this person communion. And of course that landed me in Bishop Lillibridge's office, and him asking me to walk around in the future. Something I haven't hurdled any more altar rails since that day. So I'm grateful for that lesson. I also remember sweet Charlie Myler, one of my very first Sundays when I went to go give him communion, and a little 4-year-old Charlie Myler screamed out louder than anyone had ever screamed in church before, "I don't want this guy, I want the other guy." So he clearly didn't want to receive communion from me on that day. I also remember one of my very first Sunday school classes when I came up with this idea of a coffee jar, and we called it Holy Grounds. And I invited the community, the adults in my class, to put questions in Holy Grounds, and I would address them first thing every Sunday morning. And I said to them, you can put anything you want in the coffee jar. You can put anything from where's the restroom to what's the meaning of life. And one of the brilliant parishioners raised her hand and said, and the older I get, the more closely related those two questions become. Where's the restroom and what's the meaning of life? So the older I get, the more closely related those two questions become as well. St. David's was a wonderful place for me to grow and learn and be formed. You did a great job of welcoming me. I actually lived in the guest house, the pool house of Katie Riggs on Canterbury Hill. She was the first female ordained in the Diocese of West Texas as a deacon and a priest. And so living in her home and watching her and being close to her was a gift as well. She's such a pioneer, and I loved her dearly. St. David's was a wonderful place for me. You gave me many, many, many great gifts, but the greatest is that at that place in your church, in our community, I met Kimberly Brown, and we got married about a year after I met her there at St. David's. And today we have a 19-year-old Parker at Trinity University, a 17-year-old Christopher at TMI as a junior, and a 12-year-old Angeline Brown, who is in 7th grade here at TMI. So thanks again, St. David's, for helping make me into the person I am today. I am beyond grateful. I wish you the best and happiest birthday. I love you all dearly, and I'm very proud to be a part of your community. Thanks. Happy birthday.